Hey guys, Emma here, also known as 8vinyllow, bringing you all another video. Today's video is going to be a contest entry for Mazzy, Mazzy. He's having his San Francisco themed, a lot of subs. He's at like 3,000 or 4,000 subs now, which is incredible, so congratulations, Mazzy. But most importantly, it's San Francisco themed, so I'm going to call it the San Francisco contest. And he had a bunch of questions written down that you could choose from, and then he had some bonus questions, but the bonus questions don't matter, and you can do whatever you want. So in Mazzy fashion here, and I think this is what he wants to do, I'm just going to do whatever I want. So I'm going to pick one of the questions, and one of the questions, again, has to relate back to San Francisco. And basically, one that I read, and I immediately thought of an album right away. The question was, show an album that was recorded in San Francisco. So that's what I'm going to do. I immediately thought of this album, and the reason why, and I've shown it before, is because it's one of my favorite albums. Seriously, probably somewhere in my top 20. I love this album. This was recorded in San Francisco. The title of this album is named after a national historic landmark in San Francisco. So the album that I'm going to be showing for this video, this is Frankie Miller, the Frankie Miller Band, and this is their 1975 album called The Rock. This is Frankie Miller's third studio album, and I've talked about Frankie Miller before, but basically he's a Scottish singer-songwriter with one of the most soulful voices ever. It's absolutely phenomenal. He's so unbelievably underrated. This album in itself is totally an underrated hidden gem. And what an album, what a voice, what a musician. I wish more people knew about him. Seriously, go listen to some of his stuff. You will fall in love with his voice right away. It is phenomenal. Bob Seger, this guy, Bob Seger knows, is having a huge influence on him. There's a song off of this album called Ain't Got No Money, and if that reminds you of a Bob Seger song, it's because Bob Seger covered that. I also think Cher covered that. So, phenomenal musician, fantastic, just his voice is amazing, and I love Frankie Miller. But going back to San Francisco, right, this is what it's all about. The Rock. Okay, so what's this album named after? First off, it was recorded in San Francisco, and Frankie Miller could see something as they were recording The Rock. He's talking about Alcatraz Island in San Francisco Bay, just offshore. Alcatraz Island, notable federal prison in the 1930s. Department of Justice turned into a federal prison in the 1930s, and then I think it was changed in the 60s. I think it closed down, shut down, and then it became a historic landmark in the mid to late 80s, I believe. But Alcatraz Island, if you aren't familiar, housed a bunch of inmates, some notable inmates, including Chicago connection Al Capone. Very intense history behind Alcatraz. I won't get into it for this video for time's sake. But definitely recommend looking into it if that stuff kind of interests you. There's some awesome stories about inmates breaking out and things like that, so definitely look into that if it interests you. But yes, this album, Frankie Miller could see Alcatraz Island while recording this album, and he decided to name it The Rock after Alcatraz. So San Francisco connection, there you go, Mazzy. But like I said, if you have not checked out this album and or Frankie Miller, seriously do it. I guarantee that you will not be disappointed with what you hear. Really amazing voice and just an amazing musician. One of his most notable albums, maybe, if it rings a bell, is called Full House. So I don't own that one yet, but I think that's one of his most notable albums. But anyway, going off a tangent, San Francisco, Mazzy, The Rock, Alcatraz, there's your connection. Mazzy, congratulations on your lots of subs. I forgot where you're at. And San Francisco themed contest. This was a lot of fun, and I love talking about that album. So thank you. Emma loves you, Mazzy. And all of you out there, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys for my next video. Bye, guys.